What is up, all my hope healers and hope dealers? Welcome to my YouTube channel, my PhD, my prison history diploma. My name is Kim, and I did 10 years and 8 months in Florida Department of Corrections, and I've been out for over 15 years now. Woo, woo, raise a roof on that one. So I wanted to do a video today about what it looks like to have your freedom taken from you. I want to paint a picture of what my everyday life looked like during incarceration and not having freedom. So physically, they definitely had me, okay? What my day-to-day looked like. Now, mentally, I've said this before in many videos, they may have taken my body, but they could never take my spirit. My spirit was alive and well and very free in there. But I'll give y'all what an everyday looks like to not have freedom, and basically your staff, government in there, you want to call them government because they are the ones that governed us, what it looks like for your freedom to be taken. So first and foremost, you were told when you were going to go to sleep. So lights were out at 10 o'clock at night. You had on weeknights in Florida Department of Corrections, so lights were out. You couldn't turn the lights on and be like, wait, I'm still reading a book. Nope, lights were out as a whole throughout all the women's prisons at 10 o'clock. You could on weeknights stay up till 11, but that was in the common area. After the lights were out, you could not have a conversation with your neighbors, your vecinos, or your vecinas. On weekends, you would have to be, the lights were out again at 10, but you could talk in the day room until 2 a.m. So, you know, they had control over your social abilities, your ability to socialize. If you got caught socializing after 11 in the day room, or even if you got caught socializing in the bed area after 10 o'clock or 2 a.m., whenever the lights go out, you will get written up, okay? And what a write-up did was it actually took the ability of them to take your gain time, which is your good time, to be able to get out of prison early. So they had, you know, they have some pretty good leverage, you know. Another thing was using the restroom. So if it was count time, and for those that don't know what count time is when they count everybody that's incarcerated as a whole to make sure that nobody escaped. So during count time, you cannot get up and use the bathroom. You better hold it and like it. You know, you had no choice. And if you couldn't hold it and it was a big problem, guess what? You had to be like a kindergartner and ask if you could use the restroom. How exciting is that, right? That's part of giving up your freedom. Another thing that you get that you weren't free, toilet paper. So this is a funny one. In order to get a roll of toilet paper, you had to turn in your cardboard cylinder. So toilet paper was not given to you freely. It was a give and take philosophy, or you know, that's how it was run. So I had to turn in my cylinder empty roll to get a new roll given to me. Now let's say I lost. Sometimes people would even take your cylinder thing. So let's say I lost my cylinder thing and I go up to the officer station. I'm like, hey, I lost my toilet paper cylinder thing. They're gonna be like, too bad, so sad. They can actually deny you toilet paper, and they can get away with it in there. They could get away with denying you toilet paper if an officer is an a-hole. And it's happened to me, y'all. It happened to me many times where I had an asshole officer tell me no, too bad, so sad. And, you know, I'd have to wait till the next shift. It was ridiculous. But yes, they had absolute control over your toilet paper intake. Another thing is when you were able to go outside. How would y'all like that? They got to tell you when you could be outside and when you had to be inside. You didn't have a choice. I remember when I got out of prison and I got to see the moon for the first time without any bars in front of me because I wasn't allowed to be outside, nor was anybody at night. It was a big deal. It's something that people take for granted, being able to see the moon. I love you, Moon. You know, there were, let's see, where your movement could be. So, you know, when you give up your freedom, you give up your ability to be able to go from point A to point B freely. So for example, let's say you want to go to rec. You actually have to ask permission to be able to go to the rec field. It's just crazy to me. So I just want to tell y'all what it looks like to give up your freedom. Now here's something else that I think is extremely important for y'all to know, is a lot of people think that incarcerated people stay segregated, like because they want to. That is not the case in a women's prison. We race, creed, color, it didn't matter. For the most part, y'all, you're gonna be surprised, we got along. You know, I mean, we were women that were in prison. We had a lot of emotions. We did not know how to handle our emotions appropriately. So yes, there would be some physical altercations, but honestly, like, two people would get into it and then the next day they're homies. Like, that's just kind of how it went, you know? We actually all got along despite race, creed, or color. We got along. And let me tell you, when we would bring to the table as a cohesive team about an abusive officer that we needed to get rid of, and we stuck together, which we often did, we could move mountains, okay? So I want to put that out there. People that stay separated, they can't, you guys, if you stay separated from people, you won't be able to accomplish what you can accomplish if you are together. It is so important for people to get along and stay together. That separation stuff, that is done, you know, because of the media. Listen, fear and separation is your lowest vibration, okay? So instead of like believing what the media, mainstream media says about people being separated and angry, stop that madness. Stop it. It doesn't matter if your neighbor is Republican or Democrat. What matters is, do you guys both agree that you should be free? Freedom is our birthright. And if you guys agree that you should both be free, that means that your neighbor and you both have the freedom to disagree about Republican versus Democrat, okay? Let's just be real. Now, here's another thing. Love. Let me tell you, love can move mountains. So in incarceration, when we all would look out for each other and love each other, I remember one time, and this prison, I'll just put it out there, the name of the prison is Jefferson Correctional Institution. It was by far one of the most abusive prisons that I was in. The staff was absolutely just horrific, okay? And I remember this girl snuck out a sandwich from the chow hall, because food is important to anybody and everybody, but it was their way of controlling us. They love to control us through food. But anyway, this girl went to go bring a sandwich out to eat later because she wasn't hungry right then and there. And all of us that were in the chow hall saw an officer, a male officer, throw her up against the wall by her throat and then send her to solitary confinement. We band together through love, and we told the truth about what we saw. And what that did was that got that girl out of solitary confinement, and that got him put on a leave. Yes, he was able to come back after a couple weeks, but we were able to get him gone long enough for him to see, look, dude, we will band together for that bullshit. You will not abuse one of our fellow people. And that is how it was in there. We could band together, and we did, and we chose to do it through love. We not only cared about what happened to us as individuals, but we actually cared about what happened to each other as incarcerated people as a whole. There was a lot of love in there, y'all. You would be surprised. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want all of y'all to know, with the climate today of what's going on, I'm not talking about the weather, I'm talking about emotions and energy. Love needs to rise to the top. Okay, what's important is love and embracing each other and talking to each other about what it looks like for you to have your freedom and keep your freedom. Freedom is your birthright. Every day you need to remind yourself, freedom is my birthright. I tell myself that every day, freedom is my birthright. Now listen, I'm not saying that I can go out there and commit a crime and, oh, I better be, no, we all know there's moral compasses. What I mean by freedom is our birthright, is I should be free to be able to grow food in my backyard. I should be free to be able to collect rainwater. It came from God, higher power, universe, as a gift for me to be able to drink. Who is the government to tell me I can't do that? Y'all, the government needs us more than we need them. And this conversation that I'm having with you right now doesn't need to just be a moment. It needs to be a movement. Okay? We need to stick together. If you feel like your freedom is being threatened, and listen, I'm not an expert, but from the outside looking in, it looks like our freedom as American people, and I don't live there right now, but I'm telling you, from my perspective, it runs kind of in line with what I saw in incarceration, being fed fear to control people. The cost of food. Everybody has the capability. We all have talents, y'all. The infrastructure was built by the people. Another thing that I noticed is, listen, we are the reason why these infrastructures came up and they work well, right? The people, the government. I didn't see any of our presidents out there building a railroad, building a road, making the infrastructure happen. No, they're sitting behind a desk dictating to you how to do things, or where it should go. Or, oh, you got to pay this money to build this in your backyard. No, it's our birthright. The land is all of ours. We own the land as much as they do. We have a right to grow food on anywhere on the land. That land is yours just like it's mine, just like it's theirs. Freedom is our birthright, and it is so important for us to stick together. You don't want to know what it feels like to have your freedom taken from you. I promise it's not a good time. And some people might think, well, you know, I don't have anything to worry about because I'm a Dudley do-right and I'm not going to go against the system. Dudley do-right person, if you think that they're going to favor you, no, they'll throw you in the lion's den when they're done getting information from you. Yeah, go snitch on your neighbor. I saw it in prison. I saw people snitch on people, and then they were the first, the staff were the first ones to throw that person under the bus. Because nobody liked to snitch at the end of the day. You are a liability for everybody if you snitch. So I'm just telling you guys, listen. I'm not an expert, and I keep saying this, but what I can tell you is from the outside looking in and comparing to the tricks that they pulled in prison to keep us under control are the same tricks that I'm seeing now. And what I would recommend, and what I strongly recommend, is turn off the TV for 2 weeks and formulate your own thoughts. See what your own mind tells you. Instead of letting those channels, they're called channels for a reason, feed you information and tell you how to think. You have the freedom to think for yourself. I promise you, if you turn off the TV, you're gonna get the right answers instead of getting the answers that mainstream media wants to feed you. Listen, I have hope for our future. I have hope for you guys. I believe in every single person, every freedom fighter, every warrior, every light worker. I believe that we are rising to the top, but I wanna get the message out there because listen, y'all, during incarceration with the staff taking our freedom, it was like playing chess with Bobby Fischer every day. But if you have freedom of the mind, you will win. It is not there. Listen, they cannot take anything from us that we don't give them. Stand up for yourself. Go meet your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. Have a conversation about how important freedom is. You don't want your freedom taken from you. You don't want it given away, and you don't want people fooling you anymore. You are worth fighting for your freedom. I love all of y'all. To my hope healers and hope dealers, as we work together, we are going to conquer any evil that walks this planet called Earth with love and with sticking together. Okay? We can do this. I love all of y'all. Thank you so much for being here. And drop a comment below if you've ever had your freedom taken from you, what it felt like for you. All right? Like I said, man, you know, when I got out of prison, being able to see the moon, in its natural habitat, I would say, instead of being inside, that was a game changer for me. And I still go outside and say, thank you, moon. I love you, moon. Man, those are the things that just make my heart so happy. I love y'all. Have a good night. Thank you.